Spain. Welcome to La Seu. Welcome to the International Canoe Federation's 4th Canoe Slalom World Cup for 2023. Super excited to be here with you today. It is another glorious day in this Spanish mecca for canoe slalom paddling. They absolutely love it here. And so do the athletes, so do the entourage, so do the trainers, so do we. We love coming here. It's absolutely a special location here in the mountains in the Pyrenees in Spain, where in 1992 canoe slalom made a triumphant return to the Olympic program, and we've been there ever since. And we are super excited, looking forward of course to Paris next year. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because we've got a full program coming your way today. We have got men's and women's kayak semi-finals and finals. The weather is perfect, 27 degrees. It's going to be warm, but no rain, no wind, absolutely perfect conditions for the athletes as they look to have a final hit out before the World Championships, which are coming your way from Lee Valley next month, or this month in fact. This month. Welcome to September, everybody. We will be of course bringing you the World Championships from Lee Valley, which also double up as Olympic qualifiers, which is super exciting as well. I'm very happy to welcome, before I introduce the semi-final field, into the commentary box Canada's Lois Betteridge, who is also just discovered the reigning cribbage champion.
Good morning, Ross.
Hello, Lois. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Isn't Lee Valley fantastic? I know
Lee Valley is. La Seu, I'm not so sure. But.
Yes. Oh, actually, yes, we should say La Seu. What am I talking about? La Seu is wonderful. It is a very, very nice location, and everybody loves here.
Well, depends on who you ask, but yeah.
So now we're waiting for Mallory Franklin to take the course, the current leader. And we apologise, there were some technical problems. We apologise for missing a couple of runs early on, but Eleanor Lilick is currently sitting on the top of the leaderboard.
Just ahead of Monica?
Yes, just ahead of Monica. Eleanor Lilick with a clean run, but she does have an asterisk next to her name. Eleanor Lilick with a time of 103.93, and just behind her lowest, two athletes on 104 points, around the 104 mid-range, but both with two touches, so raw times of about 100 seconds. Yeah,
that's right. I think 100 is going to be, I'm gonna say it now, I think 100 is going to be about the cutoff for a top 10 today. Well,
we'll know in a minute, because Mallory Franklin is certain to be very close to that if she's anywhere near her best. She was the third in Prague at the last at the World Cup in the middle of the year. Haven't seen a lot of her this year. She missed a couple of events, but we know that she's been paddling strong. She had a wrist injury earlier on in the year, which affected her and kept her off the water for a little bit, but she doesn't seem to be having any ill effects from that at the moment, and she's out there at the moment chasing down that time of Eleanor Lilick, who is the overall World Cup leader at this time of the year. Was a little bit disappointing yesterday. Didn't make the final, in fact, of the canoe, so she'll be desperate to get out there in the kayak today and do well.
That's right, yeah. And she'll probably be doubling down, well, not doubling down, I guess it's double points in Paris, but I think she's still pretty highly ranked in the canoe, as is Mallory.
Yes.
In those double class athletes here, Mallory and Elena, Monica.
And we've already had Lois Lever on the course, and she in fact has set the fastest, well, the second fastest raw time so far this morning. She had a raw time of just over 100, which is, we're now thinking, Lois, that's pretty challenging.
Yeah, here we have Mallory behind on that split, but she is going clean, so maybe she'll be okay catching up here. But it's really wild to me, these times.
Yeah. So they're still reviewing Eleanor Lilick's. Oh, Mallory.
There we go, touch on the last gate.
Commentator's curse.
It's not over till it's over, and yeah, no, that's not going to help her any.
No, this is blowing out, and in fact already she's out of the top 10, and I don't think she can quite believe her time.
Yeah.
In fact, she said far out, or words to that effect.
Here we go, our first Spanish athlete starting here, Laia Sorribes. Definitely we'll be looking for some more of that local knowledge on this course here.
Yeah, always does well here, Laia. So she'll be very keen to impress the fans, the home fans. They came down in their droves last night. I don't even know what droves are, but they sound exciting. They came down in their droves last night and cheered on. They couldn't get a Spanish medal last night, so they'd be super excited if they could get one today. And is La Seu the athlete to do it? A strong contingent competing here, including former Olympic gold medalist who we'll see on the course very, very soon. But La Seu has made a good start.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we're talking about. The punt in that upstream is crazy fast, and it's not always easy to execute, but when you've done it a million times, you get a 1.6 second lead.
Yeah, this is nice. This is a really fast top part of the course.
You see her stern getting stuck there? She gets pulled a little high in the eddy, and it makes the exit hard. I think she even got a touch on it, which is really tricky for her because she's only 1.6 seconds up, and we know a touch is 2 seconds added to your time, so she doesn't quite have the margin, but we'll see how she executes these last few gates.
So the asterisk has been removed from Eleanor Lillick's time, so that's good. She still sits on top of the leaderboard there with the standing clean. Are we a little bit surprised, Lois, that we haven't seen anyone really come out and nail this course yet this morning?
Yeah, I would say I am. There's people who there we go, nice tight up there for Leia.
We're going to have a new leader, I think, a new race leader.
Maybe just going to slot ahead, yeah, but just barely, and she's happy with that. I think maybe she was also looking at the times and thinking, wow, it's not going quite as fast as it could. You never, I mean, that's the thing about racing, you never know before the race starts.
No, but
and it's not to discount the amazing efforts done by the paddlers so far at all, but it's just not the crazy fast runs we could expect from some of the big names that had to take second runs. So.
And maybe it's, Lois, we did have an 8:30 start local time. That's a bit early, isn't it, for a lot of the slalom paddlers?
Yeah.
A lot of people are still having their cornflakes at that time, so to be down here and having to strut your stuff on the bubbling waters of La Seu can be a bit of a challenge. So Naomi Fox now.
Keeping her boat dry through that first section. She's in touch with Leia's time. Cutting it too tight there and taking a touch. That'll be extremely costly on that. That first split. She's just, you see also when she's getting tight there, it's also costing her a lot of time on the boat speed. It's really slowing her boat down, and it's really just adding up. And
isn't it?
Oh, it's awful.
Oh, and another touch there. Oh, Naomi, it's not going well for her, unfortunately, at the moment. Just you can, for some athletes, it's a confidence thing, isn't it? You get one touch or you lose your momentum, and then just trying to get back into the rhythm.
It can really break your focus, and it's really hard when you know what's going on inside of the head of these athletes, and it's devastating to feel the disappointment with these touches.
Absolutely, but so Naomi, unfortunately, already is in some trouble time-wise. There's a couple of reviews, as you can see. One of them, I think, is they're looking at a possible 50, so we'll see what happens there. We haven't had a 50 yet in this competition.
Yeah, that's
right. Today. We had a couple yesterday.
A good number yesterday in the canoes.
Oh, yeah. So Naomi's raw time isn't going to be too bad, actually, by the... but when she crosses the line, but yeah, she knows the trouble that she had up the top, and
she's just holding it together.
Yep.
At the end there, but
that's good to see, isn't it? The boyfriend firing up the girlfriend there before she goes out on the course. Jess Fox, she'll be in that zone now.
Evie, here we go.
Her run, I have to say, if you haven't seen it yet, folks, if you haven't seen her run from Krakow at the Under-23 World Championships, it was vintage Evie Leadfeld. It was amazing. She just blew everyone out of the water.
That's right. Stroke rate coming in handy on a course like this, where you just need to keep the boat moving, and she's moving.
Yeah, and this is set up for her nicely. I mean, the times aren't super fast, so if she can hold it together and have some of her form that she took to Poland, then she'll be in with a big show here to be top 10.
Yeah, I suspect a win at U23 Worlds would bring her some confidence coming into this race, but maybe also some pressure. So we'll see how she handles this semi-final run. And
she was good in the canoe and the kayak in Krakow. She nearly won the double. Just had a couple of touches in the canoe, which dropped her down I think she finished third in the end in the canoe. But so a touch up the top there for Evie, but we've already seen, there's people with touches in that top 10 at the moment, and so she can. She's got some good raw speed, so she can stay clean at the bottom half of this course.
Yeah, keeping her boat moving, but she's slowing down her paddle strokes there a little bit. Just place her boat through that stagger, and then picking it up again, probably just shortly. As soon as she exits from this, she'll be going again.
So her time looks around, well, I'm going to say she's going to be around the 105 mark at the moment if she continues like this, which is, I don't know that that's going to be good enough for her. Unfortunately, she's going to be, in fact, she's going a little bit over that now. So maybe that's
slotting into a 7th there.
Yep. So Lea Saribi's looking good at the top with that 103.75.
Yeah, with only 13 boats to go, it's definitely not out of the question for Lea, maybe even Elena to squeeze into that final, perhaps Monica, but we'll see what happens with these next 13 boats. There's some.
Yeah. Teresa Fizarova on the course now. I mentioned yesterday how ever since she's been focusing a lot more on the kayak, her canoe results have dropped off a little bit, but her kayak results, she's had 2 top 10 finishes this year already, so she's really going well in the kayak now, and I think
maybe a couple of medals in extreme as well so far. So.
Yep, and she won a bronze, in fact, in the European Championships in the K1, so she's really taken to the kayak, and it's really come on this season. She'll be very happy with her progress, I'm sure. And good run so far for her, nice and tidy. Looking at just
3 seconds back on that first split. It is really surprising to me. We'll see. Yeah, Lea's touch was after the second split even, so she means she's definitely behind on the time. So
yeah, that was tight for Teresa, but no problem. She's through this run here of downstream gates. You can pick up a bit of pace here, but they're a bit tricky, aren't they? That rock comes into play. There's also things you need to keep in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely have to pay attention, and I think we saw, she's caught up a little bit there. Yep,
and as you mentioned, the touch came after this, so this is not a bad run at all for Teresa Fizarova. Just needs to keep the boat moving and avoid, this is the tricky part, isn't it, the athletes there?
Oh, I think she's going to go for a sweep and then just opt for the inside stroke.
But this is a very good time. She's going to be very close to the new leader, I think for Teresa Fizarova. Yes, she's happy. She knows that's a good time.
I think that's enough. I don't want to.
You're going to call it?
I don't want to ruin her chances on the final, but I think that was enough for
You've called it.
Fizarova, yeah.
Well, we've only got 12 athletes to go. Victoria Oos has had a great season in both the canoe and the kayak. And just fantastic.
And a great weekend. She, no medal for her yesterday, but a showing in the final, which is always good.
And she's coming off a silver medal that she won in Tucson in the kayak. So good form to bring here to La Seu.
And maybe a medal at European Games as well. I can't quite remember.
No, I think she missed out.
Okay.
Just trying to go back here.
It's hard to keep track of all.
Claudia Zwolinska got the silver. Ricardo got the gold, I think, in the Europeans.
In kayak.
Yep, and I think Claudia Zwolinska got the silver. And the bronze went to Fizarova.
Right, okay. In kayak cross, Victoria medaled.
Yes, correct, right. Absolutely correct. So Victoria at the moment going along nicely, no touches, and just keeping the boat moving and staying out of trouble. She, of course, was one of many athletes who are in this field today who were on the course yesterday did a couple of runs yesterday in the canoe. So that obviously gives you a bit of an insight, doesn't it, when you...
Absolutely. You can gain a lot of information even if you're not in the same boat, even if you only have one blade. The lines are quite similar. The boats, are different. We sit differently, but there's a lot of information to gain.
So both Lois and I said very early on in the commentary that we thought you'd need a time of around 100 to get into the final, but I think we can now safely say a 101 or 102 will be good enough, because Teresa Fizarova is a 103.4 and Lois has bravely called her in the final. So, and unfortunately, I think for Victoria, she's not going to be in there.
She's going to miss out. So that's one boat closer to me being right. So.
Yeah, but that looked a good run, Victoria. I didn't see any obvious areas where she lost a lot of time. So.
Yeah, it's really, that is the deception of La Seu. The water here is it's not very, very powerful, but the fast water is fast and the slow water is really devastatingly slow. So if you're not quite online, you're just losing time, and you lose time all the way down the course, and it adds up in half seconds, full seconds, 3 seconds. All of a sudden you're behind that split time, even if you had a quote-unquote good run. So
So Stephanie Horn picked up a silver medal in Augsburg. She's also won a couple of kayak cross medals, quite to her surprise, because she was a reluctant participant at first, but now she's realised she's quite good at knocking people over in boats and smashing into people.
Absolutely, she's definitely one of the more powerful paddlers out there. She's also very experienced, so she's got,
she's just great to watch. Paddles for Italy, of course, but spends a lot of time in Germany, and is just a really, really competent paddler, and her time at the moment is fast. She's actually up on the split. Could we have our first 100 coming our way? Because at the moment she is tracking along very nicely. She's under the split time.
She could do, but she's still maybe not quite on pace for 100 seconds. I think that time of
she's coming under now though.
Monica and touch there.
Big touch for Stephanie Horn. That has cruelled her chances of.
But we did see her opting for the direct option on gate 21, or gate 20, sorry, and then into the spin in gate 21. And I do think that's a pretty quick option.
Yeah, she's going to be close. Yeah. She's going to be thereabouts. Ooh, just outside. That touch is going to be crucial, I feel, for Stephanie Horn. That touch could make the big difference between watching on the final and actually being in the final this afternoon.
Here we have Mylan Chirot, another local.
And a two-time Olympic medalist. One of those medals, of course, being the gold medal from 2016. And isn't it great to see her still paddling?
Absolutely. We were talking about kids earlier.
Yeah.
Mylan's little girl's been running around since, since 2016, I think.
Yeah. Yep. And now at an age where she can understand what her mum's doing and really appreciate her standing on the world stage in canoe slalom, that she is an absolute legend.
Absolutely, yeah. And we always see her running down, cheering super loud.
Yep. She'll be yelling at the moment because her mum is absolutely powering down this course, as you would expect.
Yeah, if there's a boat to watch on this course, it's definitely Mylan.
So at the moment she's up well and truly on the split, and looks, I mean, to my eyes,
there we go.
This is the best run we've seen so far. This is the one we've been waiting for, Lois.
Absolutely. You just see the boat always moving forward, and I think that's really the name of the game here.
So really super run for the local here, the Olympic gold medalist from 2016. There was talk that she might have hung the kayak up, the competitive kayak up after Tokyo, but wow, look at this form here. There's nothing wrong with her form.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this split time. We're going to go under 100 here. Yeah. We're going to go under 100 here for the first time today, which is going to be a sight to behold for the Olympic champion from 2016, Mylan Chirot.
Amazing. We just see that wow, she's going to go
well under.
Easily
well
there.
Under. Well,
yeah.
I'm going to say well under.
Yeah.
That's
well under, but on a course like this, it's half a second is well under.
That's pretty special, and now word is going to get out around the La Seu community, and they will be coming down. They'll unpack their droves again, and they'll bring them down here this afternoon because they'll be cheering on their local hope.
Yeah, we were mentioning Claudia earlier, European Games medalist.
So
finalist in canoe yesterday.
Mylan, of course, is through. So she's the first to have a Q next to her name. She's qualified. She has an asterisk next to her name.
Claudia with a touch there early on gate 3.
Well, I talked her up yesterday, Claudia, and I said how this year she's laid down some of the fastest raw times in quite a few venues, but she always.
That touch, but she's got a second one in gate 5. That's going to be costly for her, but she isn't too far off that.
No, she's fast. That's the thing.
That cutoff time, we're looking at 3.94 seconds back to be
between first and second.
An automatic cue.
So there is some room there.
With a third touch, it's going to be tricky. Six seconds back is not.
That's too much. That's too much.
Not easy to handle, but she is still within. Her running time is still good.
Yeah.
But
you can't make up that sort of time. Surely 6 seconds. This will be frustrating. They weren't big touches either. They were just brushes with the gates. So frustrating for Claudia Zwolinska.
Unfortunately, there's no categories. If you touch the pole, if your boat touches the pole, if your hair touches the pole, 2 seconds all the same.
Well, she hasn't missed a final this year. She's been in 3 World Cup finals, but today could be a struggle. I think this might be the one that she misses out on, which will be very annoying for her, especially coming off the silver medal she won in Krakow at the European Championships. So
she set up very nicely in that last move.
Tell you what, though, this is still going to be a fast run.
Oh, Paul, Claudia, let's go. We'll see.
And again, another example of the super speed of this young lady. She is so fast. And 3 careless touches. Well, I'm going to say careless.
They're never careless, but they can be a moment of inattention or, you know, whatever it is, right?
I mean, you take 6 seconds off that. Her raw time is a 100.26.
Yeah.
Talk about frustrating. Anyway.
Here we go. Eva Turčal from Slovenia, our second?
Yes, correct.
Third Slovenian.
And she was 5th in Tussen in front of the home fans, and followed that up with a 5th at the Europeans. So
losing a little bit of time on that surf there. That's a great example of losing a little bit of time on this course. She didn't particularly do the move wrong, but it's just not gaining the extra boost that you can get. And it's costly in energy and costly in time.
So I can tell you now that Teresa Fizerova is into the final. So she will be super excited to be in her 3rd final for this year, and maybe chasing her first World Cup medal for the season in the kayak. So she is through. Sitting on the cusp at the moment is Stephanie Horn with a time of 1:03.5. Can Eva go under that time? Well, she seems to have got caught a couple of times, and she's got a couple of reviews as well. So.
But we are looking at 1.66 behind, and just for reference, 4.03 will be the next boat to qualify after, well, what's qualified now. So there is some space to be played with for these last.
4.5, that might be a bit tough.
4.5 might be a bit tough, yeah.
So
we'll see what she does in the last.
Yeah, she's got to really nail this move here, and she hasn't, unfortunately, for Eva Turčal. So just losing too much time at a couple of key points on the course, and her time now blowing out for Eva Turčal. So no final for her, unfortunately.
So, she was 2019 world champion on this course, and we'll not be seeing her in the final, which is definitely a disappointment.
Yeah, that was so exciting. That was, of course, Olympic qualifiers as well back there in 2019, and when it really mattered, she put down that run to win the world title.
Totally. I think Luca medaled there too.
Yes, I think you're right. I think she did, of course. Luca Jones, so wonderful to see her back paddling. She had such a tough year last year with COVID, and then she got COVID again. I think she's had COVID about 26 times. Like it's been, for some people it just follows them around, but she had long COVID as well, which, you know, if you get a chance to have a look at the interview we did with Luca, and she just struggled for so long to even just get out of bed. For an elite athlete, Lois, you can imagine how frustrating.
You've got to get out of bed. Well, she definitely got out of bed this morning, so that's good, and she's back on the course now. So it's always good to see her on the course. Oh, what a beautiful punt there.
Yep.
That's what we need to be seeing in that upstream.
So congratulations to Stephanie Horn, who joins Maylin Charoux and Teresa Fizerova in the final already. The final is starting to look pretty classy, I have to say.
Yeah, I think we might see 2 Spanish.
Well,
we have Laia Cerribas next to qualify, and there's still 7 boats to go down, so it's definitely not out of the question for her. So she'll be waiting with her.
Laia Cerribas' time at the moment is not at the moment, but it is 1:03.75. So it's a nervous wait for her, because there's been it's a bit of a traffic jam around that time. But at the moment, you look at Luca's time, she looks like she's about
just making it, but she touched that outside pole.
Yeah, that's going to be crucial as well, unfortunately, for Luca Jones. I don't know that she's going to be in the mix, unfortunately, for Luca.
The time slipping away from her at the end.
Yeah. 4 seconds in penalties again.
Shake of the head.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's not sure about the touches, or if she's just disappointed in her run, but
generally the wagging of the finger would tend to suggest she's not happy with the call, but they look pretty obvious. I think when she goes back and looks at the tape, she'll see that the judge has got it right.
Kimberly Woods, our third
Brit
paddler from Great Britain.
Yep, and just super excited yesterday. I keep using the word, I've got to stop saying that, but she was really, really happy to pick up that bronze yesterday in the C1 after doing a run that, by her own admission, wasn't her greatest run ever, but good enough to win a C1 medal, and she'll be wanting to follow that up today with a K1 medal as well, possibly. She, of course, was in the Olympics in the kayak.
Touch on gate 8 is not going to help her get into that final, but she does still have that time to play with. 4.45 seconds is the cutoff to qualify directly into this final.
And that is the time of Eleanor Lilic. So Laia Saribis is into the final. We are going to have 2 Spanish into the final already this afternoon, and that will keep the home fans happy. And they'll be just gunning for a medal of some sort, and would be looking pretty good too, judging by the form of Maylin Giroux. But at the moment we are watching Kimberly Woods, who's trying to go under the time of Eleanor Lilic, our current World Cup leader.
Yeah, and Kimberly's one of the more powerful paddlers out there, incredibly strong, and she's just pulling her way down, and she might still stay within that margin. We'll have to see. Oh, here we go. 7 seconds back.
Yeah,
it's not going to be.
Well, she's got 2 gate touches and possibly a third for Kimberly. That is tough going.
Yeah.
In fact, there's reviews popping up all over the place at the moment for Kimberly. It's going to make it very difficult. Her time is...
Not the finish she wanted there, unfortunately, but...
Nope, so...
Pulling all the way to the end.
Yeah, that is the look of disappointment there from Kimberly Woods. That means that Eleanor Lilic is through.
With her compatriot there, Ricarda Funk just on the start line.
Ricarda Funk, who is still chasing her first gold. Hard to believe this. She hasn't won a gold medal this year, which is quite incredible given that she is...
Her track record is incredible of previous seasons, so maybe today's the day. We'll see.
She's the reigning Olympic champion, and she's just absolutely a formidable paddler. So
absolutely.
To be at this late stage, that was close. This late stage of the season, still not to have a gold medal for Ricarda Funk. That will be burning.
A touch just out on that upstream.
Yeah, I saw that. It was very close.
Yeah, but the first step to getting a medal is getting into that final. So she'll be focused right now. Oh shoot! With a touch on gate 11, that's 2 touches on the upstreams. It's going to be really, really tricky for Ricarda to keep the speed and keep the focus, and she's one of those paddlers that lets a mistake go, but she has to do that now, and she has to go from 13 to the bottom clean, or she won't be able to make up for those touches.
Yeah, mind you, Lois, there's 5 seconds for her to play with here between the time of Maylin Giroux and the next person on the cusp, who is Monica Doria Villarubla. So she has 5 seconds to work with, and Ricarda Funk is super fast. So.
Absolutely. You just see her, she almost made a mistake there. She actually just kept the boat speed, kept her bow light, and didn't end up touching that slow water. And
so she's still in touch. She's still under the split time required, so she just needs to finish this.
Good boat placement there, but
I think she's going to be okay. I think she's going to be all right, Ricarda Funk. I think she's going to scrape into the final just... Oh, yes. Ricarda Funk is in.
If that touch gets added, though, she's... Right, I'm not sure. There's an asterisk on Ricarda's time there, so she's not confirmed in that final yet.
No, but at the moment she has a Q next to her name because she's 6th fastest and with 2 touches. So... The rest of the field will be a little bit nervous that she's managed to get through with 2 touches and still be super fast.
That's right. And here we have Marjorie de La Seu from France, who has had some... Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that was a bit tight. They'll review it. It was very, very close, but as soon as I saw that, I thought, that's problematic.
Yeah.
For Marjorie.
That's really upsetting to see, because she has the potential here. On a course like this, she was good yesterday. She's very good yesterday. Very good in the qualifiers. She had the fastest time, I believe, but 2 touches.
She was amazing. Her qualifying time yesterday was the fastest raw time by a long way. And she had 2 touches, but still managed to be in the top 5 qualifiers. So,
of course, the De La Seu name, we're not unfamiliar with it, especially at the U23 World Championships this year. Her brother and her sister having some incredible results there.
Yeah. And of course, Marjorie will be eyeing off a chance to represent France at the Paris Olympics next year. It'll be super hot content. I've got to stop saying super. It'll be really hot competition between a really packed field of French paddlers. men and women trying to get on that team to compete in front of a home crowd.
Yeah, we definitely are seeing the French not step up their level, but really come back into form after maybe not so many good years of U23 this year.
Yeah.
They had some really good results. And
Marjorie.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, that is, her raw time's going to be good, but that 50 at the top, they're still reviewing it, but it looked tight. Let's see her reaction when she sees it. No, shake of the head, not convinced. She's not convinced that was there, but her raw time should still be struggling.
104.33.
Yeah, that's still probably.
Because she definitely had the touch, so it should be a 106.33. So she would still be out of that final, unfortunately. That does mean Monica Doria qualified for the final, so that'll give her a chance to fix up the bottom section.
Two Spanish and an Andorran into the final, and now Sona Stanoska, who was an absolute revelation at the under-23s, told us afterwards that for the first time for many years she's just been able to focus on her paddling because she's been combining her university studies with paddling and having a problem focusing on both, as anyone does. It's two big commitments to make.
Absolutely.
And with the freedom of not having to worry about the university books, she came out in Krakow at the under-23s and
she was absolutely flying in Krakow.
Won the gold in the C1 by a good margin, and with one of the best runs I've ever seen her do, and was really competitive in the K1. And we saw her put down a really good qualifying run the other morning, so 2 mornings ago, or two days ago, it was in the afternoon in fact. So if she can continue that form here, Lois, she could be in the mix here. We're looking at this stage Lois Lever from Great Britain,
who we called very early on having a good run, but with the 2 touches that she would be
struggling.
Well out of that final, but she's going to be very close.
So she's got 5 seconds to play with, Sona, and at the moment she's outside the split she needs, so she needs to really be good at the bottom.
Yeah, I think we might see Lois Lever qualify for this final, which would be incredible for her. And also...
Well, what would be incredible is she'll be the only Brit in the final.
That's right, yeah.
And yes, so Sona Stanoska is not going to be there, unfortunately. She looked up. Jess Fox was saying yesterday how she had to really squint to see the time. Is it a long way away? Is that
it's quite far down after the finish line. Speaking of Jess Fox.
Speaking of Jess Fox, on cue, here she is. Jess Fox, she is chasing a 3rd consecutive World Cup gold medal. Yeah,
winner of the canoe yesterday.
And was in such a relaxed frame of mind yesterday. She said, I just decided to take risks and try a few things. She's feeling like she's paddling so well at the moment. So congratulations.
I think we're all feeling like she's paddling so well at the moment. She's absolutely...
Yeah. So at the moment we have Lois Lever is into the final. Congratulations, Lois.
I'm thinking that's going to be her first semi-final, but maybe not.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to...
Yeah, but certainly she's going to be the only paddler from GB in the final, which is amazing when you think of the quality of her teammates.
Absolutely. Here we have Jess. Oh my goodness! I was just about to say,
why hit one pole when you can hit both of them? But Jess Fox is the sort of paddler who will not let that bother her too much because she knows she has the raw speed to make up for that, and she has a lot of wriggle room here because Aliska Mintalova is sitting there in 9th position. She is on the cusp, and there's 5.7 seconds between her time and Marion Charoux's time. So that's how much time Jess Fox has to play with. And at the moment, she's under that. So she is on track at the moment.
Jess taking 2 touches on this run. We will see if she just executes this bottom move and cleans it up for the final, or if that's enough to keep her out of the final, we'll see. But she will be into that final, I think.
She's into the final. Yeah. She's going to be thanking her lucky stars that she's managed. Oh, no, she might not be.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, this is going to make it a very nervous wait for Jessica Fox because she is...
waiting for Camille Prigent. That's not a position you want to be in, unfortunately, for Jess.
Waiting for Camille Prigent. So at the moment, Jess Fox is sitting in 10th position, which means if Camille Prigent goes under Jess Fox's time, which is a 105.46...
it's 5.98 seconds off of the current leader time. So
Jess
we'll see.
Fox will be... So it's Camille Prigent or Jess Fox in the final. one of these two incredible athletes.
Nail-biting match off here.
And well done to Eliska Mintalova, who is also in the final at the moment. So this is the final paddler on the course. It is a race between Camille Prugent and Jess Fox for that final position in the final later on today. Oh,
Camille taking a touch a little bit earlier than Jess on that. I think that gate was moved a little bit over to the right from the qualification runs. So a moment of inattention, and you can kind of go by memory, and it can mess you up there.
Yeah, so quite a few athletes, in fact, have touched that gate. So, but she can get away with one touch.
Yeah, Camille still within that margin, but we will see it. She will not be able to afford a second touch.
No.
I think we can safely say that at this point. So we'll see how her lines are.
The time of Jess Fox is a 1:05.46. And so you really need to see, she needs to be inside.
Oh, there is a second touch for Cam.
Yeah. Oh, it's a 50. They've given her a 50.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that has absolutely thrown a cat amongst the pigeons.
Disappointing for the French to have two incredible boats miss that final.
Yeah, and both with 50s.
Both with 50s, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, they'll review it, and what an important review this is. The judges have to get it right. Let's see what Camille thinks. No, she doesn't. She's not sure about it.
She said there, questioning.
Let's have a look. It was gate 18. Oh.
I mean, we're not the judges, but
if we were.
Oh, it's really hard to tell, because from this angle there's maybe a little more of the head and eye. I could not be the one that made this call. I'm glad I'm on the course and not calling these things.
Well, let's just have a look and see if it will actually make a difference.
Should be one.
Yeah, her raw time would be fine. She'd be in the final.
But it would be a touch, so it would be...
It'd be a 2, so her raw time would be... She'd still be in the final.
105.64.
105.64, and Jess Fox's time is a 105.4.
No, she would be right behind Jess.
So it wouldn't make any difference. So whether the 50 stays or not, it won't make a difference. It means Jess Fox
first off in the final. So
she has scraped in. Look, everyone's going over the times here. Everyone's looking at and doing the maths.
Yeah, that's the little.
And there's Camille waiting to see what happens with the 50, but. On our shoddy maths, and let me tell you this, I don't know about you, Lois, but maths was never my strong suit at school.
I think we can still add 4 too.
Yep. So the 50 has been confirmed. The judges have confirmed that 50, but when Camille goes out and looks at the, there's Naomi Fox now just getting the news that her sister has scraped through.
Yasmin Schoenberg and her little...
Yes, speaking of mums, speaking of parents here, of course, I saw Jasmine walking through town the other day, pushing the pram.
Wow, so, we see some...
Oh, Martina Wegman just missing out. Victoria Oos, Claudia Zwolinska with 3 touches. Look at that. Goodness. But yeah, what an interesting top 10, Lois. We have we have an Olympic champion at the top of the field. We have an Olympic champion midway through the field, and we have an Olympic C1 champion who will be the first paddler on the water. And in between that, we have a group of young paddlers.
Yeah, we have a European champion with Mintalova there.
Yep.
We have, Steffi Horn as well, I think.
Yep, and Eleanor Lilick, who is a world champion, So some quality in that women's final later on this afternoon, wow, I mean, we're going to get a pretty good sight early on, because the very first paddler on the water will be Jessica Fox. What do you make of the runs this morning? Were you surprised? Only one paddler went under the 100.
Yeah, not very many clean runs in that final. We only have 3 paddlers that went clean, which is not common to qualify for a final.
No.
But yeah, we didn't call Lois Lieber in the final as she went down. We said, oh, it was a very, very good time, but with those 2 touches, it'll probably keep her out. And here she is, qualifying actually in 8th place, not even squeaking in just at the bottom. So congratulations to her. Congratulations to everybody who made that final. It'll be exciting to watch to see who comes away with medals after this.
Just 3 athletes in the top 10 went clean. Maylin Charu and Teresa Fizarova, who finished up 1 and 2, and Eleanor Lilick also went clean, but everybody else picked up at least 1 touch.
Yeah, I'm not sure the last time I saw 5 paddlers qualify for a final with 2 touches. 4 seconds added to your time. That is it.
Yeah, what do we read into that? What are we reading to that? That people are taking more risks, or that it's a tricky course? What are we reading to?
I think that it's a tricky course, and there's definitely some time to be gained by having perfect runs, and there's also time to be gained from having or time. I guess if you have a very, very good boat speed, you can make up for a couple touches if you keep the boat going.
Yeah, for sure. Right, now let's have a look at the men's. And
40 paddlers.
40 paddlers we've got to get through, of which only 10 can get through. There's some very good paddlers who are going to be on the water very early on because they had to do second runs, including the man currently sitting second on the overall leaderboard, Giovanni De Janeiro. Titian Kustrik is up very early. Joe Clark is up early. So we have some interesting paddlers early on who will be there. He is there, Titian Kustrik, who's one of the very strong French paddlers. And there's Team GB. There's a bit of... They can laugh now. They can laugh now because they have someone in the front.
They have one person, yeah.
Yep. Yes, so there's some quality in this men's kayak. Tristan Carter there from Australia just checking out. He's a very keen photographer. Loves taking photos.
Yep.
Loves wearing hats with badges on too. Look at that. That is a good Australian hat, Lois.
Yeah, protecting himself from the sun.
Yep. Which we will see a little bit more of later on today.
Yeah, it hasn't quite gotten up yet, unfortunately. I think it's...
Well, it's up, but it takes a little while to get over the mountains. It's a real difference, isn't it, between early in the morning here in La Seu, where it can be a little bit chilly, but by the middle of the day, my goodness. Yeah, check out this young man here.
Yeah.
I saw him in Krakow. He won the World Junior.
That's right. Yeah, Davide Ferrazzi, his first year on the senior team, and this is definitely not his first semi-final.
And his dad, of course, was an Olympic gold medalist.
That's right. And his mom was world champion.
On this course.
Oh, wow, there you go.
His dad became an Olympic champion in 1992.
Yeah.
So this course would have some very special meaning for Davide Ferrazzi. He was so good in every run that he did in. He didn't put in a bad run.
Here we go. Look at that.
Look at
That's very dynamic.
Yep. How exciting is it, Lois, to see young people, 18 years of age?
Yeah, well, we're seeing the likes of Kustrik and Ferrazzi, and there's definitely, I'm just looking at the list. There's Krejci. There's so many young guys that are
just shaking the tree with all the old blokes sitting up the top, just sitting there with their pipes and their slippers, just comfortably doing what they've been doing for 5 or 6 years. And these young guns are just keeping them on their toes, making sure that they stay focused, not only just at a World Cup level, but also as it comes to Olympic qualifications, etc. Some of the older paddlers are really well and truly being put on notice that the young guns are ready to step up. Yeah,
but nothing compares to experience. So when it comes to Olympic qualifying, I think it'll be an interesting race. So, 97.88.
Yeah, for the men, you'd think that they would probably, I think we said yesterday, for the canoe, for the men that were looking at around 95, so you would think for the kayaks they'd have to be around 90, surely.
I think the fastest time was a 95 yesterday.
Yeah, for
the men's canoe.
It was, so. Yeah. So I think Rafael Valdi won a gold medal with what have you done there? You're on the screen. Anyway, on the course. What are you doing? Anyway, Lucas Rossi is on the course now from Argentina and going along very nicely indeed. Just looking, the time yesterday for Rafael Valdi was...
There it is. That's what I was looking for.
96.52 in the canoe. So you would think for the kayak to get through into the final, you would think they'd be wanting around a 92nd, at least 92nd time.
I'm going to give it a little bit more space than that.
Are you?
Yeah, just a little bit. I think that the canoes are not too much slower than the kayaks here.
Okay, what are you going to say? Give us the time. Give us the time that you think people are going to have to go under to safely make this final.
Well, we said safely or to make it? I don't know. It's really hard to call. This morning I was off, so...
You reckon a 92, 93?
Maybe a 92.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Lucas Rossi, though, from Argentina is on the course. As Lois mentioned, we have 40 paddlers to get through in what is going to be a very long semi-final session. And at the moment, if I look down here on the start list, we've got coming up around the 8th or 9th paddler on, we've got De Janeiro followed by Joseph Clark. That's not bad.
Yeah, we do have all 3 Italians qualifying in second runs.
Yeah, yep.
The other day, so that'll be, we'll get some good benchmark times pretty early on.
For sure. So Lucas Rossi again, just blowing out a little bit there, under the 100. But I think we can both agree, Lois, that sort of time is not going to be good enough in this field of 40.
Yeah, not quite. Yeah. Ferrazzi did a pretty good time with a 93.88.
Now, Dimitri Marks, who has given himself a bit of a reputation this year as the kayak cross king.
Not so bad in a slalom boat, though.
And I was going to say, it's distracted people from what he's been doing in a kayak in the slalom, because he's been having a really good season.
Absolutely.
He's been working a lot on his raw speed for the kayak cross, and when you see later on tomorrow, hopefully you can join us for the kayak cross coverage, you can see how fast he is, his raw speed is, and I think that has moved across now and helped him with his slalom as well, and you can see already he's up 4 seconds on that split.
Yeah.
So a really good start, and nice and clean for Dimitri Marks from Switzerland. And we are looking still up well and truly on the split and moving along nicely.
Yeah, where were Ferrazzi's touches? His first touch was on gate 3 and his last one was on 21, so Marks is faster on that first split for sure.
And still maintaining that pace, and just getting the chin. Just for those who are new to this sport. Well, there's definitely a touch. The question will be, is it a 50? I think it was hit him on the neck. So for those just watching for the first time, if you touch the gate but still go inside the gate, it's a 2-second penalty. If you miss the gate altogether, it's a 50-second penalty, and you have to get your whole head, the whole melon, between the gates and part of your boat.
That's right, all at the same time.
At the same time. And you can see there, Dimitri, he's angry because
he knows that the top of that run was very nice.
Yep.
So I think that's good.
Yeah.
He's all right there.
That's okay. He's got that stern.
Just a touch on that second one. Here we go.
Okay.
Alex Baldoni, my teammate.
Crazy Canadians. How's he been going? How was he this morning? Did you see him at breakfast?
I've not seen him yet today, no. I was supposed to be out there cheering him on, but
I convinced you to stay in here in the commentary box. Sorry,
right.
Alex.
Cheering you on from here.
If you don't get through and it's because nobody was cheering you loud enough on the sidelines, that you can blame me. Oh.
Alex, up.
So, has Alex been happy with his season? How's it gone for him?
Oh, I definitely think he's had some good stuff. He made the final in canoe at U23 Worlds. That was very good to see. Didn't have the final run that he could have had, no medal, but I think he was capable of. But it was still a nice run to watch, and it's always, I really like watching Alex paddle. He's a really strong paddler. So.
And during the big touch there. Did any of the Canadian team go back to Canada during the break, Lois, or did everyone stay on in Europe and keep training?
A few of us went home. Yeah, we spent a few weeks on the rivers of Canada. Alex didn't. Alex was in Europe.
Yep. So a touch there, a big touch for Alex, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Is making things tough for him, but at the moment the leader is Dimitri Marks from Switzerland with a 96.66.
Yeah, Alex exiting high there, going for the direct, and it cost him that second touch there. It's a very tricky exit to manage that move direct.
As they say, you've got to risk it for the biscuit, but there is that chance you're going to pick up a 2-second penalty. So Alex, unfortunately, the time blew out a little bit for him there, for Alex Baldoni from
with
Canada.
that early mistake, it might have thrown him off a little bit, but he did save this really nicely. You can see how much power he put into his blade there, getting his stern completely out of the water and avoiding a 50, but cost him a touch.
So everybody please be upstanding. The Pope is in the room. Benjamin Pope. Here he is on the water, the first of the Australians Of course, the last man on the water will be an Australian, Lucien Delfour, who put down the fastest qualifying time. And Benjamin Pope, who's had a pretty reasonable season. We're still to see the best of him. Maybe today could be the day. At this stage, he's made a nice, strong start, just down on the split, but no errors.
Yeah, remembering that Mark's had a very nice start. So the times at the top,
aren't reflective of what happened on the bottom part of the course. So if you are in touch at the top part of the course, then you probably set yourself up for a good bottom and a good time generally.
Yeah, he hasn't lost any time on that second split.
Oh, so. Nice. Just getting stuck a little bit coming out of there, but still managing to keep things going. And this is looking pretty good for Benjamin Pope from Australia. He's been paddling for a couple of seasons now, and we're looking forward to him breaking through and really showing us what he's capable of. Taking a touch on that
gate 18 was not ideal, but...
Oh, and there's another one there, so that's frustrating because because his split wasn't too bad. He was actually okay, but now, they've given him a 50 on gate 20.
Yeah, looking a little more frantic on that last maneuver.
They are reviewing gate 20, but they've given him a 50. I thought it was tight, but let's see the facial reaction. No, he doesn't. What the heck? It's un-Australian. So gate 20, the team officials just checking, getting word from ground control about whether there's a review or not taking place. There will be. They always review the 50s. So.
That's right. Marcello Beta, our second Italian off this morning.
Saw him at breakfast this morning. He was looking very relaxed as he lined up for his third coffee for the morning. The Italians love their coffee, don't they, Mel?
That's right. You saw his little intro there. He had his coffee cup.
Yep.
Sipping away. So.
Yep. And I did, not that I was counting, but I did notice that he was making several trips to the coffee machine this morning, getting his money's worth.
That's good. Hopefully it powers him down the course.
Yes, he'll be powered by caffeine.
Already a review on that gate 4. I'm not sure. Maybe. Well, we'll see what happens there. So far, he's looking pretty good, pretty solid.
So I'll just say this about Benjamin Pope's run. Raw time. His raw time was the fastest. Up there with the fastest time. Yeah. So far on the course, but that 50 was crucial. They are still reviewing the 50-second penalty for Benjamin Pope. If you're watching back in Australia, there's the asterisk is still there for the man from the Vatican, Benjamin Pope. Marcello Beta now. This has been a good run, nice and fast, but
and we're seeing a lot of people getting a little bit stuck between 17 and 18, and it's not a huge mistake, but it does cost a little bit of time and maybe a little bit of energy that you want to save for this last 3-gate move that's really messed a lot of people up. So there we go.
Nice.
That was a very nice finish for Beta.
Look at that. We're going to have a new race leader, folks. Marcello Beta is well and truly into the lead, a 93.71, so around the time that Lois predicted would be a time to
92. I think he might be just a little bit out.
You said 93.
Well, maybe. I know. I think because
you said 92. That's true.
Yeah.
I said 90, and you said 92.
Yeah.
My 90's looking a bit outrageous.
Yeah, we'll see. We're with Titouan.
Yep.
Castrik.
Yep.
The young paddler.
The Frenchman on the course now. Benjamin Pope's had the 50 removed, folks, so you'd be happy about that, but unfortunately he's still with 2 other gate touches. He's still sitting off the pace a little bit, so yeah, unfortunately for Benjamin Pope. So nice start here for Titouan Castrik from France. He's well under the split time set by Marcello Beta, who's got an asterisk next to his name as well.
That's right.
Oh, there's a touch for Castrik. We've only had 2 athletes so far who've gone through clean, Lois. So a bit of a repeat of what we saw in the women's.
It's possible that the poles are pretty low. I didn't take a look this morning, but with the cold mornings in La Seu, the line tensions for the gates can change. So they might be a bit low to start.
Okay, that's interesting. they had the forerunners were on the course.
I guess they did regulate the gates, but
yeah,
you never know. Depends on the race.
Well, I'm sure the athletes will let us know if there's a problem. But they did have what happens is they send out what you call the forerunners, who go out first and just show off the course and test it. I'm sure they would have reported back if the gates had been too low, surely.
Yeah, but I mean, they can still be within regulation, but just a little bit lower.
Whoa, look at that time there for the young man from France, Titian Kastruc. He's our new race leader. And with a 2-second penalty, it's a 92.48. My 90 is looking a bit more reasonable now.
Perhaps, yeah.
I'm back on the horse.
Yeah.
I'm back. What is that? No time for biting fingernails.
Yeah.
Well, here we go.
Gio coming down.
Yep, he was also at breakfast this morning and tucking into some toast and looking pretty relaxed about life. We had a chat about Rafi's gold medal yesterday and how wonderful it was to see an Italian on the top of the podium.
That's right.
And Giovanni, I think, inspired by his teammates' performance and pretty annoyed about having to do 2 runs the other day. He's not used to that.
No, definitely not a paddler we expect taking Q2. So.
Yep, so Giovanni De Janeiro on the course. This could be the man who will challenge the 90 seconds. Titian Kastruc, his raw time is a 90.48.
Yeah. With his touch on gate 11, so the split times here might go in the favor of Giovanni there.
Yep. So the good start for the big Italian, who's had a crackerjack season. As I said, he's sitting second on the overall World Cup table at the moment. He won gold in Augsburg, he won bronze in Prague, and then he finished 6th in Tucson. So he hasn't missed a final, and he's only missed a podium once. So that's not a bad season.
We love to see it. He's such an incredible paddler.
He is. He's so expressive and well, he splits good. It's very good at this stage.
Yeah.
So this is lining up to be a very good time for the big man from Italy.
Yeah, and
just making the boats sing as it goes down here. We are going to go very close to my 90, just over it for Giovanni De Janeiro, but he is our new race leader.
A little bit of time slipping away from him in that last upstream.
Yep.
I think it was really in that last little bit.
Yeah, and you can see he's a bit frustrated there because...
I'm not sure he thinks that's quite enough.
No,
we'll see.
He's been listening to the commentary and he's heard somebody predict a 90's required and he's gone outside that, so he's thinking, Ross has got it right, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Well...
hopefully for him, it's a 92.
Yes. So, gee, we're spoiling you at home with quality paddlers early on because now we have the Rio gold medalist Joe Clark, and what a paddler he is. Still, where we know that he's still carrying that frustration of having missed Tokyo. He's got a point to prove. He took his anger out on the kayak cross and became world champion a couple of times just by bashing people off the water.
Yeah. Incredibly strong paddler.
So strong. And just zooming down. Oh, look at that. I mean, that's quality.
Very nicely done. Very well executed.
Such a slick move there from Joe. Oh, Joe Clark, of course, recently became a father early on this year. We've been talking about parents here.
That's right.
And Joe Clark is a dad. And I think he said it's made him much more of a level-headed athlete because he knows that there are other things in life that are important. But sometimes it's that grounding you need to be able to keep yourself focused. Ooh, no, he got out of that well, didn't he?
This is that move that I think it's taking people by surprise. It's taking me by surprise commentating here. More people making mistakes there than I would expect.
But at this stage, 2 reviews, but looks pretty good for Joe Clark. This is that was a
very nice boat placement there.
It's like he's doing the fandango.
A little quicker out of that up than Giovanni. So
here we go. Here's my 90-second that I was talking about. That's what I was talking about, folks.
Yeah. A lot of reviews, so we'll see what sticks.
Yeah. Sort of like a mini applause there because everyone's a bit nervous about the reviews. He's not sure what's going on. But Peppa Pig's here. Oh, his eye's fallen off.
Oh, no.
Joe Clark, so time there, raw time. They've now given him a touch. Joe Clark, so his raw time was a 90.2.
Yeah, he got a touch or put on gate 18. There is still an asterisk. We'll see.
But there you go. So raw time, though, of 90.2.
Benjamin Renier, second French paddler off this morning.
And what a revelation he's been this year. Absolutely unbelievable. Just a couple of runs he's done in early rounds have been quite incredible.
Yeah, that's right.
He went out and also won a kayak cross gold in Augsburg, I think it was, wasn't it?
I think so.
And look at that again. This is the speed of Benjamin Renier. He's been so fast.
Yeah.
Especially in qualifying runs this season. Another one of those athletes that is like Rafael Evaldi yesterday, really fast in qualifying, just not able to take it into a final. Maybe today. Oh, look at that split time. Oh, is that a 50?
I think he might have knocked that out of the
I think
we'll
that's
see.
a 50. Unfortunately, they'll have to review it, but I think that pole passed on the wrong side of his head.
Yeah. At the moment, just a 2 up there.
Yeah, they'll have a close look. They're not reviewing it, so maybe they're pretty satisfied, but I don't know which side of his head that pole passed.
It all happens very quickly. It's hard to say.
Yep.
I don't envy the judges that are standing there.
No, I met the chief judge last night. I had dinner with him. He's from Estonia, and he's very excited to be down here. I told him that he could make his job a lot easier if he just put the commentary straight into the judge's box and heard our call. So we can give him
isn't that odd?
Yes, we can give him some valuable insights into what's a penalty and what's not a penalty. So a good raw time for Benjamin Renier, but let's have a look. Okay, you be the judge at home, folks. Which side of his head did this pole pass? Oh, he might be okay, but is that a...
I have no idea.
Is that a deliberate move, though? Ooh. No, he's okay.
Yeah, he is okay. It's definitely not a deliberate move of the paddle.
No.
That's just during the stroke it touched.
Yep, that's okay. It's a 2-second penalty.
Yeah, we saw yesterday there was a call like that.
I can't remember who it was now.
Margerie
Yes.
in gate 3.
Yep. Which was overturned. Initially they gave it a 50 and then they...
But it was really just within her stroke. So.
Yeah.
For those of you at home who are unsure what we're talking about, if you move the pole intentionally, if it looks like you're intentionally moving a pole around your head to avoid a 50-second penalty, you get a 50% penalty.
You're going to get a 50 anyway, so don't try it. It just annoys everybody. It gives us some laugh factor, but it's annoying for everybody because we know that you're going to get the 50 anyway, so don't do it.
Sam losing his paddle there. That's tricky. That's his third touch as well. So I think this run kind of got away from him in gate 2.
Yep, that early touch on the second gate you go through and just getting stuck there. So unfortunately for Sam Curtis, it's going to be... he just needs to now just concentrate, get his mind back on the job here and really finish off the bottom of this course, because there are some strong moves that he can really work on nailing now. And even if, he looks back and thinks what could have been, he can look back and with some pride about how he finished off his run. So
absolutely. It's always better to finish off a run nicely than to let it all go.
Yep.
And we see him really digging, so that's nice to see. Good sportsmanship from Sam here.
As we often say, you are a long time retired, so not that he's retiring, but he's going to have the afternoon to sit back and gather his thoughts, so he might as well put in some hard yards here. Not a bad run considering where he ended up, but unfortunately for Sam, just not happening today. So at the top of the leaderboard, it is Joe Clark. The asterisk has been removed, so he's got one touch, raw time of 90.20, but the actual time 92.2. Just behind him, Giovanni De Janeiro on a 92.34, so it's been nice and tight between those top 2.
Yeah, even the top 3, we have Castrik and 0.28 behind Joe there. So.
And we've got a lot of paddlers to go, but are those 3 paddlers? And Benjamin Renier now also has the asterisk removed, so he's close as well. All those paddlers are on 92.
That's right. So I think within that 92 seconds, there may be some that qualify.
Yeah.
The low 92s. But again, there's still 30 boats to go. So
yeah, my 90s are good, isn't it?
It is.
You laughed. I saw it. You were laughing. Yeah. You were laughing and you were thinking, you know nothing. You'd got nothing. He's just a stupid Australian. Doesn't know what he's talking about.
You've been doing the commentating a whole lot longer than I have.
Well, yeah, but you've been paddling a lot longer. I've never paddled out there. It just looks too hard for me. Let's have a look at the next man on the course. It is Adam Gonzanica from Slovakia. Mentioned yesterday in the commentary, there's extra incentive for the Slovakians this weekend because there's a few teams actually, I think, Lois, who this event is part of their Olympic qualifying, even though they haven't got the quotas yet.
Is that right? Okay. I think they might have qualified in that. Did they? Oh. Maybe a couple got qualified at
yes,
the European Games.
In Europeans. Were the Slovakians one of them? I can't remember whether. We should know, shouldn't we? In fact, I'll tell you in just a moment who won in... no, it was Yuri Priskovic got the gold.
Oh, that's right.
In Europeans. So, unfortunately, a couple of touches there. 3 touches, possibly 4 for Adam Golsenica. So he will struggle there. We've got Jakub Grigard to come for the Slovakians, and we know how fast he is. So that's probably not going to be good enough. It's certainly not going to be good enough for a final, and I'm not sure it's going to help him in his quest. Marcelo Beda now is just, he's doing a bit of greenery. He's got to, don't pull a tree down, not on international television.
Yuri Priskovic, 29th or 30th to qualify, or 28th, I guess, to qualify.
Yep. Going for a hat-trick of World Cup gold medals. He won in Prague, he then went out and won in Tucson, and then he went out and won the European Championship. So he's won 3 gold medals in his last 3 international outings.
Yep.
And has been paddling super fast, doing the C1 as well as the K1 this year.
With a 50-second penalty falling on gate 6.
Controversy.
Review, of course.
Wow. Now that is your story of the morning, if that stands. I didn't see it. Did you see it? I didn't see the 50, but let's go back. We'll have a look at the tape at the end of this run.
Yeah, they'll definitely be showing that in slow motion for everybody to see.
Oh, there's a touch as well, but don't worry about a touch for Yuri Priskovic. Consume that. The big problem for him is gate 6. And
no touch popping up on that gate 12 right now.
Okay.
But it might have just been water moving it.
Yeah. Well, the judges are standing right on the edge. They are on the edge of the water, folks, so they can see clearly what is happening, and anything they miss, they pick up in ground control, where they've got cameras everywhere looking and reviewing the entire run. So still no 2-second penalty, so maybe you and I...
Oh, Yuri going for a back off here.
Oh, look at that. How's that for a smooth move?
But he did touch gate 20. So not the run we're usually used to seeing from Priskovic.
No, his raw time is good.
Not...
Now, okay, let's have a look. Here we are. This is gate 6. Is there a 50 here, folks? You be the judge at home. Yep, that's a 50.
As we were saying, your chin has to pass through.
I think when Yuri looks back at that, he will see that that is clearly a 50. His whole head did not go through the gate. He'll be frustrated because he probably didn't need to do that. He probably didn't need to cut the corner as he did. What for, he says. My check's quite fluent. What for? Well, that's why, because your head didn't go through. Unfortunately, Yuri, wow, that throws this race wide open.
That's right.
Throws it wide open. Yuri Priskovic is out of the final.
Dariusz Popiela starting in the first 5-6 gates here. A very, very experienced paddler, very good paddler.
Had 2 top 10 finishes this year already.
Yeah, he's been having a very good season.
Yeah, he has. In fact, he had a 5th in Tucson at the last World Cup before the break. So he's been in good form. And the Poles, of course, always strong. They've got a very strong team, a lot of good competition for places on the Polish team. And look at his split. It's up 9. Oh, just lost it a little bit there.
A little bit of grip on his blade, but he really saved it. He didn't let it go. He just got back on track, and we'll see if he refocuses and just delivers the bottom of the course cleanly. I think that's going to be critical. Joe's touch was at the bottom, I believe.
Gate 18.
So.
So that's where the 2 seconds will kick in. And at the moment, the split's good. He's looking good, even though he got stuck there in the water. So it just goes to show his raw speed, other than that's been really fast.
That's right.
And here he comes now down to the important part of the course. Just needs to nail this finish. That's good. That's really good. His time's going to be nice. This is going to be a good run here.
Yeah, I think he might just sneak in behind there. Rank 5.
Oh, it's going to be... See there, just not...
Disappointing for Popiela.
Yep. So we still have at the top of the leaderboard Joe Clark, Giovanni De Janeiro, and Jan Kastrik. That's not a bad top 3. And if you're just joining us, the big news is that Yuri Priskovic the two-time gold medal winner already this season, the Olympic champion and the European champion, is out. He picked up a 50-second penalty and is out of the final. So quite an amazing
Yuri's teammate, Jakub Krejci, starting his semi-final here.
He's had a good season as well. He's had 2 finals, got a 6th in Augsburg, and then followed up with a 7th in Prague.
Yeah, a very dynamic paddler. See him opting for the direct up there. I wonder what he'll choose to do at the bottom. It's possible he'll go for a crazy move, give us a good show. We'll see.
Well, I wonder whether he'd be aware
nice
of what's happened to his teammate.
On top of that wall.
There was a fair bit of noise at the course when they heard, oh, look at this split. Oh.
That gate
That
is really causing a lot of troubles today. So
really going to annoy people.
Yeah.
It's annoying people already. And by the time the final comes around, people are going to be they're going to be wanting to take that gate home and just lock it away in a cupboard somewhere and not let it out.
Yeah. Here we go. With still a really nice run.
Really fast, yeah. He's going to be thereabouts. Jakub Krejci still under the split time, and Clark's gate touch was on gate 18. So this is not a bad run at all for the Czech. Jakub Krejci coming down now the last couple of gates, and nice little finish there, and his time is going to be around the 92, I think, for Jakub Krejci, which should put him in the mix.
Oh, wow. There's
Nervous
not
time.
a lot of space in that 92 second.
No, there is a real traffic jam going there, isn't there? The top 5 paddlers are all on the 92 second mark, which is, we've got 2 paddlers who have raw times, including Krejci. His raw time there without the gate touch was a 90.74. So, yeah, 92 is, anything under 92 at the moment is good, very good. Noel Hendrick now, the Irishman.
Second Irishman off.
Yep. And of course, trains, I think, just down the road in Po.
That's right,
a lot of his time
A
there.
lot of time there, yeah.
Do the athletes who are based there, do they travel a little bit between the two? Do they, I mean, it's not just down the road. I say just down the road, but it is, of course, near here. But do they try and split their time between the two, or are they based pretty well in the one centre all the time?
I think for the most part it's in Po. For instance, we train a lot out of Po, the Canadian team, and we don't come across La Seu too much. Probably in the next few years, with the World Championships in 2027 being hosted here, we'll spend a little more time here.
Ooh.
But it is still a trek over the mountains.
It is a trek. It's not easy. It's all right if you've got like yaks and things like that, and llamas and other animals that are useful for walking over mountains.
Yeah. Our boats are only 9 kilos, but over 400 kilometers, it's a bit heavy. So.
And awkward shape for a yak to carry.
Yeah.
That is a tough, close gate there for Noel. They'll have a look at that as well. I think he was okay, but he's just giving the judges some work to do. They're sitting in the ground control at the moment, enjoying their coffee and biscuits, and now they've got to put that down and look at the tape again, which will annoy them.
Pretty dynamic run, but I think the time is just slipping away from him a little bit here.
Yeah.
Coming out of this last upstream, a little bit behind on that split.
Yeah, unfortunately for Noel. You mentioned there, Lois, the 2027 World Championships, which of course will be the qualifying World Championships for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. But the other thing we're super excited about is there's going to be 3 World Championships in the space of a couple of weeks, all in this area. Yeah,
there's going to be downriver and freestyle as well, happening in Soar.
In Soar, which is just down the road. So it's going to be really exciting for whitewater enthusiasts.
Yeah.
It'll be a bit like it'll be like the Tour de France of canoeing, because it's going to be a couple of weeks of paddling in the mountains.
Yeah. Here we go, Mario Leitner.
Ignore that time. I don't know what that time is.
Yeah, not sure what the problem is with the graphic here, but that's okay.
Don't worry about that, folks, because Mario Leitner is on the
still
course
fast.
and is
half
going
a second
fast.
Up on that first split.
Yep. That is the time set by Joe Clark, the British paddler who was super fast with a 2-second touch, a 2-second penalty for a touch. Mario Leitner, of course, he was really good as a under-23 paddler. He's been on the senior scene now for a couple of years. Yeah,
a really incredible kayaker overall in slalom, in kayak cross, as well as in extreme paddling. Does some wild rivers. this man. I think he was just in California this summer paddling.
Such a tough life, these guys. They just travel around the world with their kayaks and just see a bit of water, jump on and go crazy. But Mario Leichner is
putting together a very nice run so far.
Fast run, yeah. Every time we say that, though, someone gets a touch.
Yeah, there's the last gate combination, and it's not over till it's over on this course design. But he did seem to do that fairly nicely.
Ooh, we're going to see.
That up nicely.
I think we're going to see a new race leader here, Mario Leichner from Austria.
Go.
He's going to be very close to the lead.
Just
he is the new race leader.
He's stoked on that.
And he seems pretty convinced that that is a good enough time to get through to the final. We've got a lot of paddlers to go, but I'm looking now. Yeah. He joins the 92-second class.
Yeah, excited as he should be. I think he might be good enough for that. We've seen some good runs, but
yeah,
a 92 seems to be. We'll see. It's really hard to tell.
Well, we have
still 23 boats to go.
We have 6 athletes now, all on the 92-second bubble.
So Mario went just 92.03, so I think that gives him the low 92s.
Hannes Agner now, the German who so experienced, been to, I think, 3 Olympics, looking for a 4th. Might even be a 5th, no, 4th. And this year has had a great season. He's finished 3rd. He finished 3rd in Augsburg and 4th in Tussen. Has not missed a final this season, so that's pretty good paddling for Hannes Agner. Looking to make a 4th consecutive final. Cruising down at the moment, pretty clean, no problems. He doesn't look like he's panicking at all. He's got it all under control.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the paddlers that'll go as smoothly as he can, but he's also extremely powerful. So we'll see what he does.
Hot competition, of course, for positions on the German team as well. All these countries, I mean, part of the challenge of getting to the Olympics is getting onto the team, and for some it can be harder than the Olympics themselves. And there's a touch there for Hannes Agner, unfortunately, so 2 seconds there. That will prove costly. His time is now blowing out a little bit, unfortunately, for Hannes Agner. I don't think he's going to be in the mix. He's going to be outside the 92 bubble that you really need to be on to be in the mix. So he is out of that. The 2 second touch will be difficult for him, for Hannes Agner. So his time is at 93.95.
Yeah, so that leaves Mario still at the top of the leaderboard. So.
Yeah, with that 92.03. Now, Gelindo Tirello from Switzerland, the second of our Swiss paddlers, gets on the water. He is just in that, I'm going to say that second group that we have in men's kayak. We have the group at the front who regularly are making finals. We're seeing them consistently put down good runs. And then we have a group that we know that they're all good, and every now and then we see them nail a sort of run that gets them into a final.
That's right. I feel like there's a little bit of there's that step, and when you pass that, then you're in the, you could make it, and when you start to consistently do it, I think it's mostly mental, because all of these paddlers are so incredible.
Yeah. It's a bit like, and you probably don't understand this, Lois, because I'm sure when you were at school you were always in the cool kids. But it's a bit like when you get accepted in with the cool kids and then you feel like you're there to stay. I never got in there. I was always in that next group that they looked at me and they thought, well, you're not actually quite cool at all, so you just...
But you got invited around once in a while.
Every now and then, when they were short on numbers or they needed somebody to drive everyone home afterwards, I got invited, so that was the only time I got recognised as a cool kid.
Gelindo just slipping away on that time. He was up on that first split, and then both him and Mario are clean, but the time difference is showing up here.
Yep. Mario sitting at the top of the leaderboard of one of the few paddlers so far in the top 10 with a clean run. It's quite incredible, really. We saw in the women's a whole heap of paddlers getting through with 2 touches and still making it through. And I think with the men's, the way things are going, we're going to see paddlers getting through with a touch.
That's right. Gelindo here in 10th place.
Yep.
The 96, not quite the time he needed today.
Not quite good enough to get him in the cool kids today, but keep working on it, Gelindo. The invite does come. They do invite you eventually because they realise they're better off with you than without you.
We go our first Spanish off in the, I think?
Yep.
Yeah. Our first men's kayak Spanish paddler.
Power H&S always does well on this course. And already today in the women, we've seen a couple of the Spanish get through to the women's final. So can we have a couple of men representing Spain in the men's final later on this morning?
Yeah. Will it be expecting, I think there's all 3 of them qualified in the semi-final, so it gives them 3 opportunities to break that top 10, and potentially 3 boats in that top 10. We'll have to wait and see, but 1.18 seconds back on that first split. He's not setting him up quite right yet, but hey, he's gained time. There we go, ahead on the second split, so.
Just using that local course knowledge there to pick up some time.
Knowing where to gain that speed is critical. So.
Yep, and so this has been a good bottom half of the run for Pau H&S from Spain.
Yeah, you can see him pushing hard here.
I like his boat design too. I like the teeth at the front of the shark.
Yeah,
it's good.
See if he can bite into that final.
Yeah, good one. That's good. You got him before me. Well done. Just slipping back again though. But,
the touch there, a late touch. It's going to be tricky for him.
That will make it tough. So we're looking at around a 92 to have any hope at all of getting into a final. And unfortunately, I think with that touch now and a review on 18, H&S is going to be outside the 92 seconds. So unfortunately, no finals action for the young man from Spain. Yeah,
disappointing.
Yeah, just frustrating. Frustrating with a touch. Could have made the difference, but again, it's going to be tight. It's going to be very, very tight.
Yeah, I think we're breaking into the top 20 paddlers now. Is that right?
Yes, we are. So we've still got 20 paddlers to go.
Yeah, Finn Butcher on the start line from New Zealand.
Yep.
A paddler to watch. Definitely one who could be in that final. Well, I guess as they all could be.
Yeah,
Hi, Mum.
Loves his mum, which is nice. Good to see. Again, another one of the ones looking to be invited into the cool kid with the cool kids, which is interesting because he is actually quite a cool kid, Finn Butcher.
Absolutely, yeah. He's got that Kiwi attitude.
He's got that Kiwi attitude. Paddles with reckless abandon. So let's just see if he can put it together though and nail a good run here and get himself into the mix. At the moment, if you can stay clean, then you're giving yourself a half-decent chance.
Nice upstream there from Finn. And it shows in the time. Whoa, diving under there, a little submarine into that up 12, but he kept the speed going and he came into 13 with a lot of momentum and exited well. We haven't seen everybody nail that move, but he does have a review on gate 11. Hopefully that doesn't affect him too much, but through 16-17, we'll see how he does 17-18. Keeping the boat going, but maybe a little bit stuck.
But at this stage, they are reviewing 2 gates, but at this stage, he's clean for Finn Butcher.
But we do see that the time gap changing a little bit, not in his favor.
Just
unfortunately, and a touch with his bow there.
Yeah.
That's really that'll be too much, unfortunately. Oh, and a touch on the last up as well.
Yeah, just a very small touch on gate 22.
Finn.
So Finn,
silly.
You can come and join me in the not so cool group later on this afternoon.
What are you saying about me, Ross?
You're in the cool kids. You are one of the cool kids. I saw you walking through La Seu last night, strutting your stuff and looking like you were cool, and you were cool. And I thought, oh, that's just oozing coolness.
Here we go, Noah Hege, 24-year-old from Germany.
Yep. And do we have a German?
I think he just. Oh, maybe it was just the water. I thought I saw a gate move there, but.
Okay. We don't have at this stage. We have Hannes Agner, the best placed German at the moment, and he's sitting in 8th. So I'm not sure he's going to see finals action. So can Noah Hege put himself in a position to challenge for a gig in the finals? He's down a little bit on the split though at the moment. So.
Yeah, we've seen times both. Oh, yeah, there's a review on gate 1.
You've alerted the judges to gate 1, so they're going back now.
Oh, well, Noah. There's no video review for that one. That was a very obvious touch on gate 11.
Yep. So, yeah, a lot of mistakes being earned. There's another one there for Noah. Unfortunately, it's all falling apart a little bit for the man from Germany, Noah Hege.
I think he might have even
Another one?
touched. Maybe it was water. It's hard to tell from this
So
commentary box,
yeah.
but yeah, a touch added on gate 1 as well. So that's 3 touches in the first 2/3.
Yep.
So it'd be too much for him.
And just for those watching at home, you can have gates being touched by the water, so water splash, and that does not count against the athlete. It makes it tough, especially on windy days. It can be really tricky for the judges to work out what is a touch by the paddler and what is actually just a bit of water splashing up.
That's right. Gate 13 being reviewed, I think, because of a potential touch.
Yep. So no chocolates today for Noah Hege. Unfortunately, he is off the pace.
Yeah, a little shake of the head.
Too many mistakes.
You can read his facial expressions correctly. Looks like he's pretty disappointed with that run.
Yeah, and at this stage, not shaping up all that well for the Germans. They need to really put something together. Now, Johnny Dixon has been a bit of a revelation this year, I have to say. It's been fantastic to watch him. He was 6th in Prague, and then followed it up with a reasonably good under-23 World Championships, although I thought he might have medalled there, but then he went out and won a bronze in the kayak cross.
Yeah, that's right. He did do some very nice paddling in Krakow. I think he might have qualified in 1st or 2nd, but no medal for him, unfortunately.
No, but that 6th that he got in Prague was a wonderful result, and showed that he does belong. It's interesting, yesterday talking to Rafael Valdi after his gold medal, and he was talking about how he felt for so long that he just doesn't belong amongst these sorts of paddlers. It's a bit like the cool kids conversation we're having, but just showed himself yesterday that in fact he does belong. And Johnny Dixon proving earlier this year that he belongs as well with that 6th in Prague, and just some good consistent paddling, and he's fast here as well. Almost
1.6 seconds faster on that second split, so he does have a little bit of margin here to work with, but not enough to touch. But we'll see how he executes the bottom. Mario had a very nice finish, and we see that showing on the split times, going from 1.58 to only 0.7 on the lead. Oh, I think, wow, that was the first time we've seen anybody go direct on gate 21.
Yeah, he's going to be good. This is going to be a very good time.
And it might pay off for him, yeah.
He's going to join the 92. No, he's, wow.
91.75, sneaking into first place.
That reaction, isn't it? That's all right.
Yeah.
Happy with that.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if that was his race plan.
To go straight?
To go, yeah, because he went spin, and it looked like a little bit like he caught his bow.
Yeah.
And just adapted, but who's to say? He might have planned that.
Johnny Dixon goes into the lead with a 91.75.
I think we might be seeing him in the final.
I think so. Jakob Grigard, talking about parents.
That's right.
Jakob Grigard is proud dad. In fact, he might already have 2, I think. If he hasn't got the 2nd, it's on its way. But he's missed a couple of events this year. He's had other duties, but then he was back for the Europeans, Jakob, and...
yeah, 2.06, so he's right on the same speed, but with that touch putting him 2 seconds behind. So he's going to have to make up quite a lot of time if he wants to see himself in the final today.
Won the silver medal in Tokyo, of course, finished 6th at the Europeans this year. He's always been really, really fast, Jakob Grigard.
Absolutely.
I just love the way he moves across the water. It just looks so smooth, and and really decent young man as well. Just always happy to have a chat, always happy to share his thoughts on life generally. Always smiling too. It's always lovely to run into him. Yeah. A smile, hey, how are you? And just one of those nice people. I mean, the slalom community is incredibly nice. There's nobody there that you saw them walking towards you, hide behind a bush. Generally, everybody's pretty cool, pretty nice. And Brigard's time here is going to. This is going to be close. It's going to. Just blowing out. Really too bad that he had that touch. Just unfortunately for Grigard. Look at that, as you said, Lois. Always smiling. He's smiling now.
Smiling through the disappointment, because that's definitely not the result he was looking for today. The run. No. He was quite wanting with that touch. Without the touch, I think it was a pretty nice run. Yeah. Not his absolute best, I think, but.
Nope. Boris Nouveau, the 2021 World Championship gold medalist. Had a pretty good...
Nouveau is two-time world champion, I think.
Yes,
right?
correct. And also in kayak cross, I think. And, of course, had a pretty good Olympics in Tokyo, and would be very keen here with, at the moment.
Yeah, one of the maybe older guys on the circuit.
Yep.
Battling
I
against some of the younger. So the French team selection is going to be very interesting for that Olympic spot.
I don't think in 2023 you can say older. What you have to say is more experienced.
More experienced, sorry. Yes. You're very experienced, hey, Ross?
I think I'm very experienced, indeed. No, I said it's not very nice. But paddling well at the moment, Boris Nouveau. So at the moment, at the top of the leaderboard, as we head towards the final 10 paddlers, Johnny Dixon sitting up there with a 91.75. And I reckon he's already just clearing his diary.
So when they're younger, and when they're more experienced, they're more experienced.
I think so, yeah.
But Johnny showing his...
less experience.
Showing the fact that he doesn't need too much experience.
Correct.
To really belong at the top of that leaderboard.
Yep.
So.
He's, I think Johnny Dixon at the moment would be... Oh, Boris!
Cutting it tight,
yeah,
but...
tight. I think he's okay. Johnny Dixon just put in his email replies on now, his Insta replies. Sorry, I'm out of town this afternoon. A bit busy competing in the final.
That wasn't, I think, the best execution of that move.
No, he's taking forever to get through there, unfortunately for Boris Nouveau. So he's going to slip out outside the 92 as well. So no finals action for Boris Nouveau from France, but we do have another Frenchman sitting there in 5th position at the moment, Tatiana Kastrick. They're slowly slipping down the leaderboard, but it's going to be a really tight race. There's so many athletes bunched together there. Johnny Dixon, the only one to go under 92 at the moment.
Eric Holmer from Sweden starting his bid for the final. We'll see him maybe do something incredible. He's a very dynamic paddler, very strong, very precise, and so it'll be exciting to see what he can put together here.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Good one, Lois.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So really close competition. There's 3 athletes, I think, who compete for Sweden, and they are it's very level. They're very similar in ability, they're very similar in results, and it's just a hotly contested competition every Olympic quarter for them to get that nod. And Eric went to the 22 Olympics, but unfortunately, was that another touch there, or was that a splash?
They're putting a touch on that.
Yep. So not going quite the way Eric would have hoped at this stage with 2 early touches.
He's still only 3 seconds back, so he's got a good time, but not with the penalties added. It won't be enough for him.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for him to find himself in action this afternoon. Well, this morning actually. I think both our finals are before midday.
That's right, because there's a kayak cross session in the afternoon.
We're setting the course for the kayak cross, which will be tomorrow. We're already excited. Beside ourselves, in fact, with excitement about the kayak cross tomorrow. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because we're looking to try and determine who will be in the men's kayak final. And Eric Holmer, unfortunately, won't be. His time has blown out to the 20th position overall at the moment. So not quite where he would like to be. We are now, we've still got, how many have we got to go?
14 boats
14 boats to go.
Our first and only Chinese paddler, I think, in the semi-final.
Wouldn't it be fantastic to see Huan into the final? Of course, there will be hopes for the Chinese to pick up a quota in London, of course, but if it doesn't work there, there's always the Asian Continental Championships later. Yeah,
that's right. The Chinese had a very good showing in 2019 at the qualifiers. They did a really good job. They know this course. I think specifically Quan did very well here. So.
Well, yeah. Look at this time now. He's going very nicely.
Showing his worth. Yep. 0.09, just in the same time as Dixon here.
Yeah.
Wow, very dynamic.
Wow. He is really cruising down this course. This is a good...
.09. They're very in touch, these two guys.
Whoa, oh my goodness me. He's going so fast I can hardly even see him. It's just a blur. Yeah. It's just a blur on the screen, folks, as he's just flying down this course.
You can really see him looking for that wall, the outside wall, to get the speed off of the punt.
Yep.
And I mean, as long as he didn't touch that gate 12, we'll see it paying off for him.
This is going to be something pretty special for the man from China.
Just coming in. Wow.
Do you know where he trains? Where's he based mostly?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I assume he's based in Europe somewhere and does some training, but he's putting together a crackerjack run here. We could have a new race leader.
Really nice boat placement on that last one.
We are going to have a new race leader. Look at this. What a run from the man from China. Oh,
just behind. And .3 putting him 2 places behind Johnny Dixon in the leading spot. So it's really tight racing out there, but that'll be good. Mario will be stoked to see that he's still sitting in second. I think those top 2-3 boats might stay high enough to be in the final.
It's going to be touch and go.
We'll see about 5, 6. 6 was where the .7 behind will be too far, I think, at this point.
Stefan Hengst, the final German on the course. He's a cool kid, even if he's not in the cool kid group. But, Stefan.
Touching gate 3, we've seen so many penalties here. The statistics on gate 3 and 20 must be a little outrageous today.
We'll see that before the final. They'll give us the rundown of where all the problems are happening. But absolutely no doubt at all. I think there's probably 3 gates where...
We've seen a lot on gate 3, a lot on gate 8.
Yes.
And 20.
20, yeah. They've been the ones where there have been problems, so...
Oh, also this upstream. These 3 upstreams, this triple up combination
This one coming up here. Yeah. This one here has been problematic. And there you go. Yeah. Right on cue. Thank you very much, Stefan, for giving us a demonstration of what I mean, because that was a pretty clear touch.
Yeah.
So Stefan Hengst is, unfortunately, the way things are shaping up, we are not going to have a German in the final. Hannes Agner currently sitting in 10th position. So no Germans will be making the final, you would think.
Yeah. There's 13 boats after Stefan, or 12 after Stefan. We'll be seeing the queues falling soon, and I think that low 92 might stick.
Yeah.
Oh, Stefan missing gate 21 there. Trying to go back for it and missing his attainment up there as well. It is always nice to see paddlers try to finish off with no 50s. He's going up to get that. He knows he's not going to be in the final with this run, but it is still really nice to see when people don't give up and they do finish off the run as best as they can.
Yep. So, unfortunately for Stefan, an early end to the competitive day. He'll be doing some training runs later on. Of course, he's one of the athletes who absolutely loves kayak cross and does very well at kayak cross. So he'll get out there this afternoon and take his anger out on the warm-up runs for the kayak cross this afternoon. Now, the third of our Brits. Could we have 3 Brits in the final? That'll be something to write home about. Ben Haylett now trying to follow Johnny Dixon and Joe Clark. Joe Clark currently sitting in 4th. It'll be interesting. We've got Joe Clark and Giovanni De Gennaro sitting in 4th and 5th position at the moment.
Yeah, they'll be waiting anxiously. With that touch, it'll maybe make it a little easier for one of them.
Yeah.
But who's to say? Yeah, that gate 11 really stuffing people up. I think gate 12 as well.
People are going to get they'll get the chainsaw out. An athlete will get the chainsaw out before the final and just chop off some of the bottoms of those gates, I think, because they've been problematic. But Ben Haylett with 2 touches, and that's going to make it really difficult. Nobody has there's a few guys. In fact, now if we look at the top 10, the way it's shaping up, there's a handful of paddlers in there who had 1 touch, but certainly nobody there with 2 touches. No one's going to get through with 2 touches.
Yeah.
And if you're just joining us, the big news, the big development from this men's kayak semi-final is that the reigning Olympic champion, the reigning world champion, Yuri Priskovic, is out. He got a 50-second penalty on gate 6, and he is out of the final. So that was the big development this morning.
That's right.
So Ben Haylett Not through to the final, but he will get a chance to cheer on at least one, possibly two of his teammates in the final. I'm being confident, I'm calling it, that they'll get through. There's Luca Jones there on the right, just updating her Facebook status. Hey Luca, how are you? Yeah, good, she gives us a wave. Nico Testa now from Slovenia. Well, he's just shown us he's not a morning person. Let's see how he goes here though, because he's had a reasonably good season actually, Nico. And the Slovenians, I always think that, I mean, having that opportunity to train all the time on that Taxon course, it's good preparation for anything you can get thrown at you, isn't it?
Yeah. Nico up against some other good Slovenian paddlers for their Olympic selections, but right now I think he's focusing on this World Cup. And we don't have the first split, but it seems like he's doing a pretty good run.
Has he got a mullet? Is that a mullet that he's sporting there, or is it
I believe it is, yeah. Oh, that's not a great way to do that, Gate.
No, he lost a lot of time there, unfortunately for Nico. And just struggling to keep his line here as well. So Nico Teston early on having some difficulties, but at this stage, he's going to blow out here. You're going to see this reflected in the split. He's well outside the required time at the moment. So we are now getting very close, Lois, to seeing the top 10.
That's right. I think Teston is the 11th down, so the next boat down should get a cue.
We should start to see who will make the final, but it unfortunately will not be Nico Teston from Slovenia. They've given him a 50, haven't they?
Yeah, it looks like they gave him a 50 on gate 20.
Gate 20, they've given him a 50. So not happy about that, but why would you be? Nobody's ever happy with a 50 for Nico Teston. All right.
Second of the Austrians off, the Felix Auschmatz.
Yeah, look, he's been paddling super fast this year. He got a third in Tucson. He got a fourth at the European Championships. He's just such a strong paddler. Never looks to be absolutely burning up a course, but then you see him cross the finish line and his times are always, you go, wow, how did he do that?
Yeah, really fast paddler. Looking to join his teammate Mario up in that top 1, 2, 3 spots.
Look at the top of that leaderboard at the moment. You would not bet on that. The top 3, Dixon, Leitner and Kwon.
Yeah.
They're your top 3. At the start of this morning, you would never have said those are going to be your 3 guys who are going to be your fastest qualifiers. We've got some good paddlers to come, though.
0.74 behind. That's putting him a little bit low in the standings, actually. That'll be just behind Titouan if he was finishing the race here. So he'll have to pick up a little bit of speed here. The low 92s. We're looking at 92.03, 92.12.
Ooh, just giving the judges a little bit of work there, Felix. Trying to cut the corners there. They'll have a close look at that to see if the whole of the melon was between the poles.
Definitely review popping up on that 16, but we'll see what they say. He is also losing time. We're seeing a 1.2 seconds back. Is too far back right now, but.
And getting stuck there a little bit as well, Felix, on that last gate. So still a fast time. He's in the 92s, but the high 92s. So that's unfortunately, I don't think, going to be good enough. But what it means is that Johnny Dixon is into the final.
Yeah, qualified.
Oh yeah. So the young man. Are we allowed to say young? Do we work out? Can we say young?
Young and experienced.
The inexperienced paddler Johnny Dixon.
No, young. There's young. Young is young, and then there's experienced.
No,
so he's not necessarily inexperienced.
Okay. So here's someone who's very experienced.
Very experienced, yeah.
Peter Kauser was going to retire after Tokyo, but with just the 3-year Olympic cycle decided, what the heck?
Why not?
I'll have one more crack. And you know that whenever he's out on the course, the judges, they're on the edge of their seat because you know that Peter Kauser is going to give them some heart palpitations at some stage.
0.0.
He's exactly on the time of Johnny Dixon. So mean, over the years, we've been blessed to see Peter Kauser throw down some of the best runs you'll ever see in canoe slalom. And I'm sure that he would love to pull out one of those here today.
Losing just a little bit of time on Johnny there. The 0.6 is actually, it's not a lot of time, but it is a lot of places. So he's going to have to pick it up a bit at the bottom of this course if he wants to get into that final today.
Yeah, there is a real logjam between 2nd and 8th at the moment. They're all on the 92-second mark. So really he doesn't want to time in the 92s if he wants to guarantee himself that spot. They're reviewing gate 11. I didn't see anything. But
0.2, he has picked it up just a little bit.
He needs to finish off strongly here. What's he got for us? What's he going to do? Nice. That's good. Yeah, this is a good finish. He's going to be very close here. I think Peter Kauser will go through. This has been a really good run for the experienced man from Slovenia. Peter Kauser.
The queue.
Punches the air. There's Luka Bozic there giving him some good strong support. But Peter,
medalist of yesterday's C1 event.
Indeed. And Peter Kauser sits now on top of the leaderboard. He does have an asterisk next to his name, and I have to say, Lois, it's pretty crucial, because if they give him a 2-second penalty, then all of a sudden he's out of the top 10.
That's right.
That's how close it is.
Michał Pasiut, Polish paddler number 2, I think, in the semi-final. Seeing if he can best Darius's run that was not quite enough to get him into that top spots. And
so at the moment, it is Mario Leitner now who's waiting to see whether he will be in the final. The top 2 on the leaderboard, Peter Kauser and Johnny Dixon. They are 1 and 2. And Joe Clark and Giovanni De Janeiro are still sitting there in 5th and 6th position, nervously waiting to see if they're going to be required to get the kayak out again this afternoon. But good run here for
2 seconds added on the gate 11.
Yeah, for Pasiut. So
they're reviewing it. So we'll see what that stands as. But so far 12-13 was pretty nice for him. I think he's keeping the boat going here. But you see, out of gate 11 through 13, sorry, gate 12 through 13, 14, 15, there is time to be gained and time to be lost if you're going in the straightest line there.
So good news for Slovenian fans. The asterisk has been removed from Peter Kauser's name. He sits clearly now on top of the leaderboard with a clean run of 91.22, and most importantly, he has a Q next to his name, which means that he is qualified for the final. And we're going to see a bit of vintage Kauser today. We'll have to wait and see.
Michał losing a bit of time here over the run, and I think it's going to be quite...
Yes, it's not going to be anywhere near good enough, unfortunately, for Michał, which means that Mario Leitner can
getting his cue,
get the kayak off the rack and get it ready for this afternoon, because he'll be in finals action.
We have Quan from China next to qualify.
And Tim Anderson from Australia, who has put down this year some of the best runs we've seen.
Absolutely. Showing his speed.
Yeah.
I mean, he is very, very fast, so we'll see what he can do today in the semi-final.
And just so good to see. I mean, for so long we've seen in the Australian team, it's been Lucien Delfour and then Daylight second. Tim Anderson's really taken up the challenge this year and is making it a really... Look at that.
Half a second almost up on Kauser's time at the start. So that's a very nice first split, but
just motoring through these gates here at the moment. So that was nice as well.
Yeah,
so Tim Anderson's putting together a very good run here. He needs to go under 92 to guarantee himself a spot in the final.
Yeah, and here's hoping that this run stays really nice, because it is always good to see this guy paddle.
Yeah.
And so if we get to see him again, that'll be great.
Yep. So Tim Anderson at the moment, they're reviewing gate 11. I didn't spot anything in the call, but that's not unusual.
Yeah. Executing the stagger very nicely and getting that nose down and not losing any time between 17 and 18.
Well,
in fact,
look at this.
Gaining time.
This is fantastic. Tim Anderson putting together the run of his life at the moment. He's just got a couple of gates to go.
Yeah, and it's not over till it's over, so hopefully this last combination doesn't cause him too much trouble. I think he's good there.
He's good there.
Coming in
Bring
and
it
out of
home,
that
Tim.
pretty nicely.
Bring it home.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be good. He's going to be into the final. What a run for Tim Anderson. Yeah, he'd be pretty happy when he sees that.
Yeah, as long as that stays clean.
Yeah.
I think it should, but...
Jess Fox getting
his teammates pretty
super excited.
There.
Oh, stop saying super. It's annoying everybody. Jess Fox very excited there to see, and the asterisk has gone already. So Tim Anderson
perfect
into the final. What an interesting looking final we've got already. David Laurent from Spain. He's been to a couple of Olympics and loves this course. I remember in 2019 in the World Championships here, he blew everyone away.
Absolutely.
He would be the man they would be most nervous about, I think, if he makes the final, because that local knowledge and having the fans.
Oh, Debbie, touching gate 5 and 6. It's really, that's going to be costly for him.
Yeah.
He's fast, but 4 seconds is a tricky one.
4 seconds is too much, unfortunately, for anybody to make a final, I think, of this quality. So who's sitting on the cusp at the moment? It's Quan from China, who is sitting on a 92.12. I think with David with 2 touches, I think Quan can start to prepare for the final as well. Fantastic to see already. Already we've got 3 continents represented likely in the final, which is wonderful. We've got Europe, we've got Oceania, we've got Asia.
Yeah.
Which is what this sport is all about. It's a global sport, Lois. We just need to get some Canadians in some finals, and then we can all go home. Oh, there's another touch there as well for David. So not going the way he would have hoped in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, you can hear the folks at the course cheering, but unfortunately you can't cheer a touch away. So.
Nope. So Xin Quan from China will be into the final. Great for our Chinese fans.
Yeah,
and disappointment for the Spanish fans, though.
Yeah, I think that's their last
hope, is it? Let's have a look who's still to come. I know Mikel Trave. Mikel Trave is still to come, and he is in.
How could I forget?
Yes, he is in red hot form. Speaking of people in red hot form, how about this bloke, Vic Prindes, second at the last 2 World Cups. At both those World Cups, he finished second to Yuri Priskovic. There will be no Yuri Priskovic in today's final. He is out. He had a 50-second penalty. So Vic Prindes will be pinning the ears back and looking forward to hopefully competing in a final sans Yuri Priskovic, but he's got to get there first, and the man that he is looking to knock out of the finals at this stage is Joe Clark.
That's right, and he is looking like he is on track for the first 9 gates, but you never really know. And he's such a phenomenal paddler, and he's just so good to watch.
You know, it's one of the, I mentioned yesterday about Alexander Slavkovsky never been to an Olympics, and this is another story that breaks my heart. Vic Prindes, without doubt, one of the best 2 paddlers in the world in kayak in recent times.
Absolutely. And
never been to an Olympics. That's where it makes you cry sometimes.
It shows you the depth of the Czech team.
Yeah, but the fact that we never get to see this guy on the Olympic stage is incredibly frustrating for so many, because he's just so good.
Really nice straight team.
Look at this speed. Look at this speed for Vic Prindes. If he can put this together, and there's no reason to suggest that he's going to lose his control at the bottom of the course, because he just looks like he's got everything going the way it should be.
Oh, losing his edge. Doesn't quite get a stroke in there. And it'll cost him a bit, but I don't think it'll cost him a final. Yeah, still into first.
Still into first for Vic Prindes. And when he gets to shore and he looks up and sees who he's against and sees that Yuri's not there, he's going to think, wow, this is going to be my day, maybe. But he has gone through with a 90.85.
Yep. So it looks like a 92 will be the cutoff, but that a 90 will be the fastest time.
Yep.
Martin Halchin from Slovakia, starting, I think he's a 7th boat. Sorry, 3rd last boat to go.
Yes. So we've got 6. We've got 6 qualifiers through. 4th last to go. Yeah. So at the moment, it is really, really tight. The time at home that you've got to keep an eye on, anything under 92 will be good enough.
And his bow just bouncing up and touching gate 6. Yeah. We've seen that a few times.
So Joe Clark still sits and waits to see if he will be in the final.
3.08 seconds is going to be too much for Halsen. He's going to have to really, really, really pick up the pace if he wants to absorb that touch.
But good experience for Martin Halsen. Of course, he's not a young man, but he's experienced. Let's say that. Getting a chance to strut his stuff here. Needs to finish off nicely. I don't think, though, that he's going to be in finals action, which would be good news for Joe Clark, but not so good for the Slovakians, who, as we've mentioned, this is part of their qualification for Tokyo, for Paris. Yes.
Yeah. That being said, there's some room for him to beat Grieger, who's 3.56 seconds behind that first time. So.
Yeah, they do it over three events. So.
Okay.
So no final, unfortunately, for Martin Halsen from Slovakia.
Slotting into 13th place.
Yeah, shaking the head there. Just the touch, again, crucial for the difference between making a final and watching on from the stands this afternoon.
That's right. He would have been 1.03 seconds behind, which would have been just enough to get in. We have Giovanni De Janeiro sitting on the edge of his seat with 3 boats left. Sorry. Yeah. To qualify.
And one of the form paddlers in the world right now, Martin Duguid, he went to the European Championships in Krakow after having had some good World Cup results and finished second.
That's right.
At the European, so he's in good form coming into this event. And obviously, when you start this late in a semi-final, you know you've put down a good qualifying run as well. So he's in the sort of form that has put him in a good spot to make the final here. He just needs to get around that high 91-second mark.
Wow, almost 1 second behind Witt's time on the first split, though. That is wild. Witt had such a nice run, especially at the top. So
it was vintage Prindis, wasn't it? It was what we've come to expect from him. And no surprises at all that he's sitting on top of the leaderboard at the moment. But Martin Duguid now trying to get under the time of Giovanni De Janeiro, which is a 92.34, if he wants to get into the next round.
Driving his boat forward and really trying to go fast here, but we'll see at the end of the run where he places. But it's a good run. I'm not sure if it'll be enough.
It's going to be touch and go. It is going to be touch and go here for Martin Duguid because he's around the bubble. He's just around that bubble. The time he needs to go under is the 92.34. It's going to be close. 92.34 is the time to watch. He's going to be right. Yes. No, it's just outside. Just outside. Not by
far.
A lot.
Yeah.
But look at the difference, as Lois has been saying. Look at that difference. He's only just outside that time, but it's dropped him down to 12th.
That's right. That does mean Giovanni De Janeiro from Italy qualified for the final. So he can, have another coffee and get ready.
Another one.
Yeah.
There should be some law on how many coffees you can have.
And Trave from Spain.
Yeah, the local hope. Here is the young man, one of the just a handful of male paddlers who does the canoe and the kayak.
Yeah, I think a little bit disappointed yesterday probably with his result. But
his final, even though he made the final, but I think he expects big things here when paddling at home. So he'll be really looking to make amends today. And if by amends we say making a final, well, he needs to, because sitting
on track. He's got 1.63 seconds to play with. And
that is the time of Titian Kastric, who is sitting in 9th position at the moment. So he is watching on.
Oh, and here we go, Trave coming in ahead of the second split.
Now we're seeing the Trave
searching for that wall and just accelerating off of it.
The Trave method of business that we see unfold here, a fast man over the water.
Especially in staggers like this, he just flies through them. So we'll see what he does here. But I suspect at 17-18 he won't lose any time. Wasn't as fast as it could have been.
No, but he's still good. He's still the fastest man so far on the course. So this is a good run. You can hear the Spaniards They know their sport and they know what's unfolding right in front of their eyes right now.
Yeah, and opting for that double spin just to play it safe.
Here we go. We're going to have a new race leader here, folks. Sit back and enjoy this. Mikael Trave is going to go
behind. Oh, just ahead.
First.
Just.
A 90.67. That is 2 great runs in 2 days for Mikael Trave.
Congratulations, Mikael. That was really nice.
It was really nice. And what a great run. And to go top of the leaderboard, that is a great result. So the pressure is on Lucien Delfour now, the Australian.
Delfour or Castric, we will see in 90 short seconds.
We will. Lucien Delfour had his season disrupted momentarily when he picked up chicken pox.
That's right.
I think it was in before Tucson. In fact, he was still competing because he wasn't contagious at that stage, but it did disrupt him, and he told me the other day that he's still got a couple of scars. Chickenpox leaves annoying scars.
Yeah. Oh, and just ahead of Mikael's split there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He has been for so long one of the fastest paddlers on the water, and again, we say this about a few paddlers, Lois, but one of the people that you know how fast they are, and you're just waiting for the day when everything falls into place for them, because they're going to be so fast.
That's right, but he did lose some time in that second intermediary, but
so it's a race at the moment between Lucien Delfour and Titian Castric.
Ripping gate 13 there very nicely.
Castric's time is a 92.48.
Yeah.
That's what we've got to watch to see if Lucien Delfour can join his teammate Timothy Anderson.
Yeah. So that's a gap of 1.81 on the split. So he has 0.9 seconds to play with, but that's not a lot of time.
No, it's going to be very close. He needs.
And he's staying just in touch. But the touch is going to be too much because he's going to.
Lucien just trying to get a little advantage there, and unfortunately it hasn't worked out for him. It's still going to be fast, but I don't think it's going to be fast enough for Lucien Delfour. He's going to be just outside, I think, yes.
Yeah.
11th.
Fastest time of the day. Oh no, sorry, Joe Clark, I think that's the fastest.
Fastest raw time of the day. Let's have a look. Yeah, 90. Yeah, Joe Clark, the fastest raw time. Titian Castric, a little bit faster as well. So Lucien Delfour, the 3rd fastest time, but just that touch.
11th place.
Knocking him to 11th place, which means Castric is through to the final. Delfour misses out just, but the Australian fans rest easy because you have Timothy Anderson in the final. Let's look at this lineup. Now we have it confirmed. All the asterisks have been removed. We have this final confirmed now, Lois. Let's have a look here. Trave at the top. Prindes, Causa, Anderson, Dixon, Leitner, Juan, Clark, De Janeiro and Castric.
Quite a stacked final. Missing a couple good names. A couple names we'd expect to see there.
The biggest name in men's kayak paddling is not there.
Miscavige,
but gee, there is plenty of quality though, with the likes of Prindes, De Janeiro, Clark, Leitner, Causa. I mean, these are all names.
I mean, nobody's a huge surprise to be in there in that final, but surprises out of the final.
How good is it to see some young guns like Trave, Anderson, Dixon, Quan from China? It's so exciting to see these different paddlers.
Yeah, great racing today.
Fantastic racing. It's been a long morning, but the excitement's still to come. We've got finals. Lois, thank you for giving up your morning and coming in, getting up early, coming in and having a chat with us and being part of the commentary.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Hopefully we'll hear more from you very, very soon. Thank you at home. Hope you can join us again very soon for our men's and women's kayak final. But from now, from La Seu in Spain, from me, Ross Solly, and Lois Bettridge, it's over and out.